Yo, what's up from work bathroom? That's what's up. Bug chat. Night snack. Okay. Let's see what we got. Big chat. Chat. Let's turn this down a little bit. How are we doing, my chat? Welcome everybody. Welcome to the late night stream. Late night gang. How are we doing? Yo. We got dill pickle Lay's chips. Anyone else got some late night snacks? What are we working with? What's up? Welcome back, Ink. Elio, what is your late night snack? Smart food, popcorn. Let's go. Chips and salsa. What salsa are we working with? Yeah, Elio, you've been wanting some cheese, huh? Okay, so yeah, probably cream cheese. Elio is the master of the cream cheese. Some ketchup. Pretty good. Tostitos. Okay, so I'll be honest. Just got back from the beach. I wanted to do a stream this weekend. I don't really have a plan of what the stream is. But here we are, we're streaming. Anything could happen. I'm thinking we'll probably jump in Frogville. Maybe we'll watch some YouTube videos. Maybe I'll show off my new skill of the day. Changed my mind on the cheese. Let's react to every Lo-Fi song in chronological order. I would be down. What's up, Lo-Fi, by the way? We got Penguin, we got Elio. We got Ink. I saw Spooky up there. Yeah, I was gonna say I would be down, but I feel like Lo-Fi wouldn't be down. Like if it were me and it was my music, I wouldn't want that to happen. But we do love Lo-Fi music. Yeah. What's going on, everybody? How's your weekend going? Who's we? Okay, so today, you would never believe it, I didn't get one, but I got 2 new musical instruments to use on my crazy new album, aka Beagles 3. Okay, I got an alto saxophone, which I played in high school. I got a potentially beginner mid-grade one, but I definitely got it cheaper than eBay prices, which is really all that I could ask. I did order a new mouthpiece because I'm, you know, any amount of cleaning, I'm just not really trusting a stranger's mouthpiece on a saxophone. So I played, I don't know, when did I start? I think I started playing saxophone in 6th grade up until probably 10th grade. So I did a solid 4 years maybe. I remember all the notes. Yeah, and I found one I got one for like $170, which a lot of saxophones, they're like $600, which is crazy. Probably worth it, but I'm not a professional. This is Corey's cup that she stole from her mom. It's a Minnie Mouse mug, but it's a very large mug. But thank you. So yeah, I got a saxophone. I can't show that off tonight because I'm still waiting on the mouthpiece, but I did get a second instrument, which you guys wouldn't ever believe it. It has 2 purposes. One is cutting off limbs of trees, and then 2 is making beautiful music. I don't know if anyone has ever watched saw videos, but you can play a saw and it sounds really weird and haunting, kind of like a theremin. Today I watched probably 30 YouTube videos on how to play this thing. I'm still learning. I had to order some resin. Basically you play it with like a what's it called? Like a violin bow, but you need a lot of resin, and we're out of resin. We have like 2 violas that kind of half work that have just been sitting in the corner. But we're out of resin, so I had to order some resin. But I'm still practicing, so maybe I'll show that off a little bit. I thought there was some weird instrument named a saw that I didn't know about. Yeah. No, it's a literal saw. Like if you look it up, it's like a musical saw. And they actually make really expensive versions. Yeah, maybe it's rosin. I always say resin, but yeah, it's spelled rosin. So maybe that's how you pronounce it. I don't know. Here, I'll try to give some kind of micro demonstration here. I'm very bad at it. Let me use this letter opener. Basically, what you do, they sell expensive versions that are like longer and lighter, so they're easier to do, but you could do it with any saw. And you put it between your knees, and you have to make an S formation, and you hit it at you would hit it with your violin bow, and you can, you know, bow it. But I'm kind of practicing just to get the bends right, to get the different pitches, using just tapping it with this letter opener until the rosin comes in. So yeah, you got to do S. Yeah, you can kind of hear it. I'm not really good at like knowing where the notes are yet, but I think it'll be really cool. And yeah, you can like hit it with the violin bow to like extend the notes, like to get more sustain out of it. But I've just been practicing with stretching it. And yeah, you can get like shake it to get really weird vibrato notes. And it kind of sounds like that haunted kind of freaky theremin sound. Yeah, I'm really excited. I bought this for like $10 today, this random saw. I'm not very good at it, but yeah, you would use a saw and you can get some really cool sounds out of it. So that's my new thing. Sounds tickle my brain. Let's go. One of my best friends plays that, and I wonder if he could get into beagles. Yeah, of course. That would be so incredible. If you have a friend that is a saw player, yeah, definitely get in touch. I'm gonna try to play saw on the album, but you know, there's a lot of probably better saw players than I. Today's my first day. But I'm pretty excited about it. But yeah, I did post in the Discord that today I got an alto saxophone and a big saw, which I thought out of context is kind of funny. But yeah, I'm gonna try to learn how to actually play it. I don't know if this saw is long enough. It seems like a pretty good length. But yeah, pretty excited about that. Also, I uncovered my old, I had this old like Yamaha keyboard from like the early 2000s that I used to think had really bad kind of cringe sounds on it, but now that I'm listening to it, just because like a lot of the keyboards that I use are like Casios from like the 80s, it's this really interesting pocket of like the early 2000s, and there's a lot of cool like synth and like string and chorus sounds on it that are gonna be kind of fun to mess around with now that I know how to mess around with sounds. Yeah, I love the old Casios. That's kind of my bread and butter. But I had this one synth that seemed like it was like too new to be usable, you know? Like mid 2000s, early 2000s Yamaha. I'm not a Yamaha hater, but it just had like, I don't know, it's like the keyboard you would get to like learn how to play piano if you couldn't afford a piano kind of thing. And you just get it and it just has all these kind of funny sound effects on it. But now I'm like loving all these sound effects, especially if I can like, I don't know, I can just like push them through any of my weird mixers or amps and put some funny effects on it, and it's a fun sound. But yeah, growing up it was like less cool than my older, you know, vintage Yamaha or vintage like Casios. And it's like so big, but doesn't really, it's not quite like the analog style keyboards with like the modulation and the pitch shift. It's just got that weird like off gray, and the beats sound kind of like kids bopsy. I don't know how to explain it. Okay, so yeah, that's my 15-minute intro. The Yamaha in my house is literally missing keys. It's bad. I love Kids Bop. Yeah, we should do Kids Bop, Fox Academy Kids Bop. That'd be cool. Cover up all the curse words. Okay. So, that is the intro to the stream. Beagles Kids Bop. Yeah, what would you do? My neighbor, instead of my neighbor is a drug dealer, what would it be? My neighbor is a candy dealer. Did they know? Did you know they made a Kids Bop version of WAP? So WAP stands for Wings and Pizza. That's pretty cool. My neighbor is a piano dealer. So you guys might not know this, but my ultimate dream is to have an upright piano in my house. And just I've never had the ability to get one just because of number of stairs and the cost of moving it, and just too many close neighbors. You know, once I get an actual house, I'm gonna have a piano in my home. but right now I feel not able to have one. So lately I've been obsessed with the idea of like creating my own piano, like building my own piano. Like in my own sense, like maybe I think it would be kind of cool to like use, that's part of why I broke out my old Yamaha, is because I was using it as like a MIDI keyboard. My idea is to like use an old keyboard as a MIDI controller, but then like hook it up to like a weird amp or a couple effects and a speaker, and maybe just kind of like send samples through it through a laptop, and that would be my version of piano until I can get a real piano. I've been kind of excited about that idea lately. Have you seen the chopstick piano on YouTube? No. What is that? My dream is to have another piano. That's a crazy flex. Oh, like one after you used to have one. I thought you were just flexing that you already have a piano and you're like, yeah, my dream is to have 2 pianos. No, what's the chopstick piano on YouTube? Maybe we could watch that. Let me look it up. But it's not just the chopstick song. I don't know what to look up. What does a chopstick piano sound like? This looks pretty accurate. Is this what you're talking about? A third piano I can only use the 2. Yeah, it's so sad when you can only use 2 pianos at once. I don't mean to brag, I just really like playing my own piano. Some guy in Japan. Yeah, there is a video that I'm seeing here that is, the title is "What Does a Chopstick Piano Sound Like?" Do you guys want to watch that? Yeah, maybe that will be the start of our stream. And then maybe we'll do a little, I don't even know. We could do some Minecraft, we could do some YouTube. I was gonna just do Resident Evil 4, but I'm just not really sure I'm like in the mood for that right now. We'll see. I would be down. But I don't want to assume that's what everyone wants to watch. Okay. Hold up. Let us get in the mode. Screen share. Okay, here we go. You guys hear this?
Tempur-Pedic mattress.
Don't listen about this, everybody. Don't even care about the Tempur-Pedic mattress.
Because only Tempur-Pedic users are one of
Tempur-Pedic. I don't know if this is what you're talking about, Lobi. But it seems interesting. Just me eating chips somewhere. The most niche stream ever. How did they mic this up too? Exit mic. My Australian brain can't comprehend America. That's very fair. You're not alone. Wonder where this is shot. When you're watching a video with someone, they scroll down to the comments. Alabama. This is pretty cool. The pencil pick thing is cool. I'm dying to go to the last one. Yeah, it kind of seems like his left foot is triggering like a digital kick sound. I don't know, maybe scared of the animals in Alaska? What, like bobcats? Okay, hold up. Hold up, I gotta see more about this. Trying to figure out how it's made. The man behind the chopstick piano. Now let's check that out.
Hi, my name is Sammy Elu. I'm 34 years old. I come from the United States and I've been living in Japan for 9 years. I play a handmade instrument called the chopstick piano. I grew up playing piano since I was a young kid, 6 years old, classical and jazz music, improvised music, and then began writing my own music, mostly instrumental. And I've always loved street music. I've always loved playing in public places.
How's that?
So I decided to get an accordion, a difficult instrument, but I was able to learn it well enough. But it still has a kind of
Is
honky
that better or a
sound.
little louder? You can
So
tell.
I want to play the piano.
So much
or
louder than you.
something with a keyboard, right? But it's a heavy thing, and I don't really like the sound of. I don't like the sound of digital pianos. A real piano has a much,
can
much,
turn up
much
my
more
monitor, it's
real,
louder.
alive, living sound, which is why I made this instrument. I want to use the raw sound of strings, and it just happened as evolution. I decided to make a simple instrument with 1 string, 2 strings.
To be fair,
eventually now I have 29 strings.
no, never be afraid to let me know when the sound is bad, because I kind of have no way of monitoring it.
Like the harp. So it's a mix between piano and goto. Okay,
To be fair, this video has some of the worst audio I've ever heard.
Piano. You have 7 notes in the scale as opposed to 12, which is what you have with the black key.
There's like
So you got the
freeway
black
audio
keys,
over him
and
talking.
I could tune it to any scale that I really wanted. That's as long as it's confined to the 7 notes. This song is called For My People. I felt like it was a people-friendly song when I made it. Playing it on the street,
Nathan
I would
Fielder,
notice
Jack's
certain
Films?
points
Let's go.
where a crowd would
That's
gather
true.
around. And in the early days, this is one of the first songs that I made.
Yeah, sorry about
I
that.
did
Yeah,
notice that
anyone,
people kinda seemed to
literally,
attract
if the
to
sound is ever bad, just let me know, because, again, I don't have a way of telling. And it helps other people too.
I have a bit of self-taughtness in me because
And I would never be offended
I grew up
at all.
not really enjoying classical music that much.
I'm not a
Sort of think I
professional
would
streamer.
really get into like Debussy. But
I'm
in
just
jazz, I would
here
play a little
hanging
bit
out with
too,
the
and I
late
had a
night
very
game.
old 80-year-old jazz piano teacher. And I also studied, at the Berkeley.
Alright, see ya, Ink.
God,
Thanks for popping back in. Good to see
But after
ya.
that point, I kind of discontinued my studies, but have continued to
Have a good class.
pioneer my own musical group, which is what I'm doing now.
That looks cool.
It started out as
No, I would be
pure
the same.
improvisation, and then
Literally
out of that,
today.
slowly little ideas would come into play. Little
Today when I
beats,
bought the
rhythms,
saxophone, I was at this thrift store that basically there's like in the middle of the thrift store, there's like this locked up kind of room that has kind of the more expensive stealable stuff in it. And you have to like request someone to unlock it for you to go in there. And I saw the saxophone in there, but I couldn't see the price. And I kept like the owner, not the owner, but just like one of the workers was like in a conversation, and I was having a hard time asking to get into that little room to see what the price was because they were in a conversation. I didn't want to interrupt. I don't know why, I just get anxious about that kind of thing. Whatever. We all do it.
melodies, those little loops, material started to come out, and I would jump.
Like,
from
yeah, I
one
get it's not a
section
big
to
deal,
another
but
section,
it's just not what I wanted to
and
be doing.
through that, eventually, would compose
But then it
songs.
worked out, it was fine.
Doing this every day.
And then
playing
I bought the
same little
sax,
loops,
it was
playing the
awesome.
same little fragments, material, and then eventually it becomes this whole
A
piece, which is
guitar
what
that I'm strong
songs
enough to
played
play like a normal
is.
person.
I mean, I've pretty much played note for note the same way now, but then I'll try to come up with a new song after that.
I feel like that's
So
doable.
I'm constantly
What is the hardest
shuffling
part
between
about
stuff, rearranging stuff,
playing guitar for you?
just having fun with it, not
Like
playing
the
same way
strings?
all the time.
Or is
But
it like holding it?
when it comes down to recording, I do get a song locked down into a set pattern. So
We
it's
gotta
kind of
invent
both.
this.
It's free form, but then it's like it kind of parts of it are very structured, I guess you could say.
This is cool though. Okay. I'll show you guys a quick example of someone actually playing the saw in a cool way. Check this out, everybody. This is crazy. This is what it's supposed to sound like. But I think he has a modified saw. He plays a little different than I've seen other people play. He kind of looks like you. Let's go. The fit is sick. The socks? Sounds like a silly little guy singing a silly little tune. That's all I can really aim for. There was another one. Luigi's Mansion, yeah. It has like a haunted aspect to it, which I can say I'm very into. I think this is the same guy. Honestly, it's one of the most beautiful sounds I've ever heard. Yeah, he has like a very thin saw. But you can tell he's got the chops. Like he's had a lot of practice.
I never saw and never imagined something like this.
Yeah, you can tell this is the same guy because he's got the same shoes. And you do the vibrato with your right leg. Watch his leg, how it wiggles. That's how you do the vibrato. It's so sick. Thank you, Zambreezy, for the 2 months. So
This
much.
is amazing.
It is
Saw
amazing.
and like a violin.
Like there's not many things more beautiful than this. I gotta be honest. Yeah. Alright. Very lovely. Lovely sounds. Fantano jump scare. Do not watch. Yeah, I watched the Fantano Scrapyard review. He loves it. As he should. I still have to run it all back. What are you thinking about Scrapyard, Penguin? But Theremin is so sick also. I found like a pedal version of Theremin. I don't know how good it is though. Let's watch a review. Or maybe a demo. Guitar effects pedal with the Theremin? Okay, that's not what I was saying, but this could be cool. Hold on.
Analog and digital effects, sound effects can be applied to the theremin. The theremin can be played through these and make an infinite amount of sounds. Today, we have these available to us. Back in the 20s, the thereminists did not have effects available to them. So this is
Sky Dog and
this is
Texas
something
Blue are my
extra
favorites.
that we get to
Fair.
play with. And I use a very simple device. It's made by Digitech. It's a very inexpensive digital effects pedal, and it's made for guitars. But
wait. Not the same, but check this out. I just got this a couple months ago. Mine has like a pedal on it though. Like a weird pedal thing, but I got the Digitech. Kinda sick. Let's see what he does. Let's see what he does with it. Come on, internet.
the theremin seems to have some interesting sounds when I play it through.
Seems to.
How about a little wah-wah?
Yes.
A nice chorus?
That is scary.
And I could even make the theremin talk.
Elio, you gotta do this. Yeah. This guy's goated. That's the end of the video. Okay, hold on. That was pretty cool. Theremin and pedals. I found like a pedal version of a theremin though. It was like not a real theremin. I didn't test it out though. Moist Critical playing the theremin? Do we dare? Wait. Hold on. Why the bongos? Okay, that's enough of that. Frightening. It is frightening. Theremin is sick though. He always looks so calm. Yeah. The calmest man. What? Sports Almanac Theremin pedal. Me just dragging you guys all down on my YouTube rabbit hole tonight is kind of crazy. Theremins are incredible. Stylophone pitch theremin. I wonder if this is what I saw. Ooh. Sorry, ears. Sorry, everybody, ears. Let's watch this. Does this have like a stylus on it? Oh. Weird. Goose. Let's go Goose. What is this video? What? This is not how people use theremins. She is going crazy. Okay. It got my attention there at the end a little. Alright. Not too bad. But yeah, I do not have a theremin, but one day. I don't know who this is. Maybe this is the inventor of the theremin. Okay, we're just gonna blind watch this video. It seems important.
Первый инструмент такого типа. Это песенно-голосовой инструмент. В нем
You're muted?
управление мелодией достигается посредством влияния на электромагнитное поле около инструмента.
This is what a theremin's supposed to sound like. And kind of what I'm aiming at with the saw. They're so sick. That'd be cool. Theremin duet, let's go. Oh, I did see a theremin saw duet today, if you guys want to see that. Hold up. That was kind of trippy. I don't know anything about this channel. It seems cool. So I think this is the same person doing both parts, but it's still kind of cool. Left you got theremin, right you got saw. I know. I can't put my finger on what this reminds me of. What character this person reminds me of. But yes, peaceful indeed. The kid from the kids, how I can't remember name. Show. So this type of musical saw, there's a handle at the end, and that's how you do the vibrato instead of your leg. You shake the end of it. Theremin I've never played, so I would have to watch some more videos to understand how like the pitch and everything is controlled. I was thinking from Lazy Town. Yeah, you get the point. All these instruments don't require a lot of physical strength. Yeah, it is nice. Well, the saw, I think if you get a good musical saw, it doesn't take as much. Like the way I'm doing it kind of hurts my hand. But yeah, the theremin for sure. You just kind of move your hands around. I have this friend who has been working on this headset thing where you can like control music with your like brain impulses. Like it picks up the waves of your brain activity and you can like control music with it. I don't really understand it, but it seems cool. Chopstick piano is sick. But yeah, he's getting into like scanners of like brain waves and then connecting that to music. And he's had this thing where you can like wear this weird beanie and you can control music with your mind waves, which sounds crazy to me. Yeah, very disability friendly. I love that. Okay, what else, chat? Maybe we should hop in Frogville. Does anyone have any interesting YouTube videos, music-wise, to watch? If not, we'll hop in the town. Like I said, there's not really an official plan for tonight. I just wanted to do a big ol' late night. Started typing, then you said music-wise. Yeah, it happens. Music-wise. It doesn't have to be music. We could do some Muppet stuff too. If that's what you're thinking. But it is kind of nice to like end the night with the Muppet stuff. Like maybe we could do something and then we come back, do a nightcap. Nightcap with the Muppet is always nice. It's only 8 p.m. It's not too late. Yeah, maybe we just hop in Frogville for a bit and then we end the night with Funkland. How's that sound, everyone? We like that? Sorry, I kind of went crazy, a little freestyle on the intro of the stream. I've just been kind of hype about the saw and all these sounds. There's a new to Funkland. It's about American Idol. Whoa. It's crazy. Drop a freestyle. I would need a beat. Would need a beat though. Drop a freestyle. We'll do a freestyle in due time. Let's think. Yo, I got dill pickle chips. To be continued. Okay, I'm going to reset my desktop here. Due time was approximately 3 seconds. We don't know that. Let me move all my... I got 2 monitors, but I gotta get them all back and forth. Alright, we're gonna hop in Frogville. I don't really know, we didn't do a Frogville this week, but we'll tap in, we'll see what's new. We'll get you guys a little caught up. Maybe we'll work on a little something something. And then we'll end with some Defunct. And whatever other videos. But yeah, I'm very excited about the new Beagle stuff. All the songs are kind of like laid out. Now I'm just kind of like having fun adding like overdubs on everything. So it's like, you know, I could just kind of have fun adding any weird instrument, and if I don't like it, I don't have to use it. I don't have to use it. Okay, let's launch. Rap a freestyle. We could freestyle. I could freestyle on the guitar a little. Let's do that. I gotta go. I have my cousin home. Don't do anything super cool. I'm gone. Okay, is that the cousin you're playing Kingdom Hearts with? I find my cupcake. Oh, in due time, gotta eat my cupcake. Right, you're gonna miss the so-called super cool segment. Super cool segment. Make sure you don't forget it. This is the super cool segment. You're gonna miss it. Oh, it's the super cool segment. I hope you don't forget what happens, 'cause you're with your cousin and you miss the stream. Oh me, oh. Spooky do you know? New intro song, except it's all a facade, 'cause none of the streams are cool, and definitely not super cool. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, let's write a Frogville song here. Going in town. Where the heck am I? What the heck? You have a gamer in town? That's kind of cool. Aw, that's crazy. Oh, I'm in the capital. I didn't even know where I was. I don't need to. Okay. This is now the guitar stream. I have a guitar on my chin. Do we have a little tunes? Let's do some light tunes. I don't know if you can even hear that. Right. I guess if I make any songs, it'd be weird. Update: the aliens continue to annoy me. I suspect they're doing it on purpose. They have trampled my crops. I keep climbing to new places at home. Oh no. That's bad. You might have to run them out. 2 of them turned into zombies? And I've captured them. Oh, good. So if you missed it, Kilk is building a new shop, which seems to be ever expanding. It's where the old courthouse was, which is now on the capital island. New hangout spot. Yeah, we all love Kilk. We're chugging Kilk. Chugging new Kilk. The one with my name is a zombie, and I put armor on him and tried to use him to scare away the others, but he failed. Oh no. Even in undeath, they won't join my side? That's messed up. That is messed up. But yeah, the Mr. Poop plot is looking a bit different. I thought he was just gonna leave it like this. Like there was kind of like a storage container here. But now it seems like there's some walls coming up. Almost making it look like he's building a new structure here. Which is not what I expected. I thought that Mr. Poop was just gonna like have this be just kind of a random territory for a while. But it does look like a new structure is coming up as far as I can tell. Which is very interesting. Because he broke down the entire poop tower, which is pretty nuts. He's building a poop laser to destroy Frogville, I reckon, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. Let's hop in. I think there are a couple new things. One silly thing I did this week is I made an official flyer. One just died, wasn't me. Yeah, they seem to die a lot, these aliens. They die a lot, but they keep, like, reproducing. They don't seem to have much health. They just kind of, like, fall off cliffs and stuff. Yeah, I made a wanted sign for pig bulls for stealing from Craig's grave. So we just had a sign before, but I made a silly little flyer for it, which I hung around town a couple places. What else? I don't know what else. Let me check the leaderboards. Check how everyone's doing. Okay, so Mr. Poop is leading in all 3 of his endeavors right now. Which I'm actually shocked a little bit about builders, that he's the top builder. He's got level 40 builder, which is nuts. What does Lovi have? 42 level miner? That's nuts. What level are you? I don't know. I think it's jobs check, or no, jobs stats. I think it's stats. Yeah, stats. Right next to Poopy. 21. That's pretty good. Like anything over 20 is pretty high. I don't know what Lovi is even working on. I do know that Lovi does a lot of like mass mining, like with TNT and stuff. Wonder what Lovi's working on. Oh, speaking of, there is a huge, I kind of feel bad doing it on the late night stream, but there is a big Lovi plugin update, which we could go over now. Why not? Check it out. So the main thing Lovi's plugin has is all the custom items in town, like Kilk, stuff like that. Let's go over some of these new ones here. So a lot of these aren't even in the game right now. They're in the game, but they're not actively in a shop. The craftable ones are, like you can craft them if you know how to make them, and then they'll show up in your recipes. So the newest one, which I think is really interesting, is compressed blocks. So cobblestone, dirt, stone, sand, red sand, etc. you can compress into compressed blocks. So you can take 9 of those blocks and squish them into one compressed block. So you can carry way more. Like if you're mining a bunch, you can carry way more of each block. You just have to compress them into these compressed blocks, and then you can, you know, uncompress them into your regular blocks also. But it's nice. Also, we have this new thing called the light remover. Oh yeah, that is on the bulletin board actually. I did add it. I might edit the price, but Bulby's Lighting now selling light remover. So I kind of forget exactly how it works. But yeah, Bulby's is in Northeast Frogville. Let's go ahead there real quick. So there's a new item called the light remover, which for a while we've had this place where you can buy light blocks of any strength here in East Frogville. It's this big light bulb looking place. So light blocks are cool if you want to have lighting in your build, but you don't want there to be an item block. So you don't want there to be a torch or a lamp or a lantern. You can trade in your torches with just 1 raw gold, and it'll give you a bunch of light, different light values. 15 being the brightest, which is, I think, equal to just a torch. But the problem was with this is that once you place them, there's not really a way to break the light blocks in survival. So we have this new block or new item called light remover, which allows you to remove any blocks like in your vicinity, any light blocks in your vicinity, and it puts it in your inventory. So I forget the radius, but this is basically how it works. You right click anywhere. Once you have this item, the light remover, you can click any block, right click it, and it shows any light blocks in your vicinity. And then if you left click, it breaks a certain number of those light blocks. Oh wait. Oh, I should probably be in survival, sorry. I think that's the issue. But it seems like it did work. Yeah, you click and it shows any of these light blocks, and it shows these light bulbs, and if you left click, it removes them in your vicinity. And if you, I forget how many blocks it is, but if you crouch, it's like, I think it's a smaller vicinity. So I should probably put those back. But as you can see, there's 15 light blocks here now because I removed them. We can replace some of them. But yeah, if you crouch, you can get a finer detail of how many blocks are removed. And I don't know if there's a durability on it. But yeah, it's pretty cool. And it definitely helps that. Another thing, part of the Lovi, pack is we have all these new drinks, which I don't know how many of them are. Oh. I don't know how many of them are craftable. I think that we'll probably have shops for these available, but they're very cool. Mirror Tea sends you to your spawn point. Bubble Tea gives you a bunch of underwater buffs, like you can get the breathing underwater, mining faster underwater, all that kind of stuff. Light coffee, it gives you flight for 3 minutes, which is huge. It's like basically a way for anyone in survival to like be able to just have access to fly around for 3 minutes. Which we might have to play around with the balance of that. But it's pretty cool. You can just fly around for 3 minutes if you want to do some building as if you're in creative mode, but you're still in survival mode. So you drink the light coffee. What else? We have the sea salt ice cream, which is a homage to Kingdom Hearts. We have new texture for popcorn and the cream cheese popcorn. And yeah, I think that's the main thing. There are a few tools that we haven't added shops for that have been in here for a while that are really cool. Like these different pickaxes that allow you to like mine your area much faster. And the XP shears, which makes it so you can remove your experience into item blocks. Let's say if you want to do a duel and you don't want to lose any experience, you can take all your experience out into an actual item. Which I think that'll change the server a bit too, because people could even sell their experience to each other if they want. It's kind of cool. We have some gobblers. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Let's see, what have I been working on in town? I do want to work on the what's it called? The parkour pavilion. I want to make some parkour maps. Or make some kind of like only up style maps where you can like race to the top. Be cool. And just gotta like, you know, clean up the town. We have a couple of areas that are pretty open. We don't have to fill them now. But like this, I don't know if we should put like a nice little park here. Or some new business. We have so many businesses in town. I kind of feel like some more kind of beautifying areas would be nice. There is a kind of wide open space here. And we do have so much business space down in the... it could be nice for the subway area to have some cool new businesses. Maybe I'll think of something. Ellie wants to be in Frogville. Yeah, we should add Ellie to Frogville. I do have to figure out how to use the NPC system. I have an NPC plugin that I'm still learning how to use. There's only one NPC in town, and he doesn't seem to do much right now. He kind of just stands here. But it's cool. That's okay. We'll get Elio's mind uploaded into the server. It'll be the greatest server ever created. I do gotta open up Spaghetti Hut, which is like Pizza Hut, but it's spaghetti. I should open it up, get some nice items in here, and I want to add like a little jukebox system in here. Be nice. I kind of want to make it so there's like, I don't know if it's possible, but to have a system where like you hit the button and at random it cycles through a few different songs, maybe Fox Academy songs or something like that. I gotta work that out. We are working on, I do know Lovi is working on potentially some musical instrument plugin stuff, which is cool. Buy an account. Could maybe borrow one. Yeah, it costs money for Minecraft, but it's not too much. I don't know how much it is now. I know it used to be like 12 bucks, but it could be more now. But yeah, everybody admires Spooky Ink with the new... We have shown it before, but it does look very sick. Colors, all that good stuff. And we got Rufus over here. My apartment. For how long... Oh, restocked. Nice. For how long I've been on the server, I still have not had like an official base this entire time. It's been over 2 years. Did I transfer it to my own computer when I get one? I think so, yeah. What is this? Dial up. But yeah, we have a few options. I do have one house in the suburbs, although it's a bit far away. I also could build a new house in West Frogville, or I could start from scratch. I'm not sure. Yeah, we do love Frogville. I know Mr. Poop's been very busy, but I'm not really sure exactly what he's working on. It seems like it could be mostly interior. Boiling's place is looking sick. He's got this like little mine area. You neglect Rufus? Rufus love. There's been this wizard tower here for a while that I'm not sure when it'll be a part of the lore. But I find it very interesting that Mr. Poop has a wizard in his city after everyone's been kicked out. Yeah, it's pretty lonely in Death City right now. But we have this library, up and coming library. Where'd he get a wizard? Yeah, I don't even know. Where'd he hire one? The museum is pretty good. We got the lighthouse, all this good stuff. And then, I don't know if I showed this on stream, but a while ago I claimed this island officially for Frogville, so I don't know what it's going to be called. Did Soiling start building the cafe? Oh my god, that's huge news. But on the way, I would just show off, I made some trails in South Frogville to have a little bit of infrastructure for South Frogville. I still want it to be a little loosey-goosey. Oh my god, I'm so excited. If Soiling started building the cafe, I'll be so excited. Yeah, it's been literal years. There's like a few things, there are a few builds that people started maybe 2 years ago and they don't play on the server anymore. But I think I'm gonna reabsorb into Frogville government and then we can turn it into whatever we want, unfortunately. Well, fortunately. Whoa! Oh my god, it's lovely. I did not even notice him build this. Yo! Welling's Cafe. Wow, this is incredible. Whoa, this is beautiful. Voice only. Yo! I know, Soiling. And look at the seating. This is beautiful. Oh, and there's a little path here too from this, so you can like come from West Frogville or you can come from the station and you can hop through here. Yo, this is awesome. So it doesn't look like there is a shopkeeper here yet. I don't know if Soiling's gonna run it himself, but this is awesome. I literally am just now seeing this. Soiling's Cafe with the ellipsis too. Incredible. I also wasn't sure how he was going to fit everything here, like with this weird patch here. I wouldn't mind if Soiling was going to like build into this hill at all. But I do love the respect that it's just like plopped here at the end. It's small and it's cozy. Damn. I would come here every day for breakfast. Dang, Soiling went off on this. This is amazing. Look at the seating too with the view. Dude. Like that a lot. Soiling's such a cutie pie. Oh yeah, we can sit. Hold on. See if it'll let me. Dude, we're chilling? That's kind of lit. Okay, we can just chill. You see this, chat? Gang can just chill now. I wonder what Soiling is gonna offer. Go, go, go. That's pretty cool. I like that a lot. Oh, that's awesome. Whew. Well, I'm glad you noticed that. I didn't even notice that Soiling built this already. I've been checking like every day. He must have just built it. Awesome. Ah, wow. Frogville's like almost complete now. That we have that. Level 17 Explorer. I've explored my own hometown. That's pretty cool. Alright. What? Is that Dougal? Google. What's up? Google's at home. Which one of these is your house? Which one's your apartment, Dougal? We need to get you on. Sorry, it took a little while to respond. Google. Yesterday I got a texture pack to have the old enchanted shine, and it has significantly improved my ability to be able to be happy wearing armor. I know, it's crazy how much it changed. The old glint was so nice. Is that what we were talking about, the glint? Yeah, it's messed up. Is this your apartment? I don't even know. Makes no sense. You like sand, huh? You gotta put your name on here. This is your house? Here, I'll put the name for you. Dang it. What is your name? That's Orange Trump. Is that it? Broke. Home sweet home. Accessibility settings, you can change it back. No. Drink that milk. Drink it. Quick. Drink the milk. Quick. Frogville's dangerous. Yeah, that'll cure ya. Frogville's a dangerous place. People can get rotten helpers in here too. Classic Mojang. That's true. I kind of miss playing bowling on here. We should do a bowling. Oh, who's that? Who's this? Parker! I know, we gotta do like some full-on game. Oh! Look at him bounce. Bounce. Do the bounce. Oh! Bounce, boy. Bounce. Let's see you bounce. Protect the boy. Protect Parker. Oh! I wish I could catch him on the top of my head. Parker has ops. I know, for real. Oh no. Oh no. Parker wants to move to Ville's Frog Village. You could live there if you wanted. Oh! I think he wants to be a city boy though. I respect that. He needs a map, yeah. You need a map. Anyone have a Frogville map? Look. Parker. He doesn't want the map. Parker! Save me, Parker! Save me! Help! Parker, save me! What's gonna happen? Parker, help me! Parker! Help me! Save me, Parker! No! Parker! No! I can't look! I can't look, avert your eyes. Need to plug in your Hey You Pikachu microphone controller? Yeah, maybe. Parker, help! I got run over. He's gonna he's gonna hop in. Parker, come. That's crazy. He doesn't care at all. Oh! He wants to play leapfrog. Hold up. Oh! Parker! Parker, get back here. He wants to play leapfrog. Oh! Wrong way. You're not supposed to drive on that side of the road, Parker. It's not safe. You're supposed to go straight on the right side. Always on the right side. Parker! Back here. I'm gonna face every person in the server with the trolley problem. Make a spreadsheet. That's true. We're overdue. Parker, you're on the wrong side. Oh! Parker! Oh my god, this guy's crazy. He's an outlaw. Oh, you want to do some shopping here? A frog in Frogville makes as much sense as Michael J. Fox owning a fox. True. Doesn't make much sense. Ink, what's up? I don't know, what did you miss? Not too much. This frog Parker in Frogville is kind of on a rampage. Oh! Parker! He's going crazy on the town. I died on camera. He wants to send some mail. What are you doing here, Parker? Just talk to us. We're here for you. You don't have to live like this. Parker. It's okay. For the greater good. Parker. Don't move a muscle, Parker. He does look chill. Parker. Okay. Oh my gosh, she's going again. He's always on the go. Can't live like this, Parker. What about your wife and kids? Can't just live life on the go all the time. Gotta take a break sometime. What's gonna happen when all this hubbub catches up to you, my bud? Not good. Oh. 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 Everybody have milk. Drink the milk. Please. Milk. Man. Frogville is a tough place. Okay. We'll have to let you go. You'll have to be your own man, Mr. Parker. Been nice knowing you. I hope to see you on the other side. There he goes into the distance. And he was gone. Just like that. As fast as he entered our lives, he left without a trace. Where's the kilk? We got lots of kilk. That's your minecart. We gotta get Spooky's minecart back. Where's the beef? Where's the beef? Oh! I got a boost bounce. That's that. Now you're on your own. You have no cushy minecart to just tell you which way to go, which way's forward, which way's left, which way's right. Oh! Now you gotta do it the old-fashioned way, Parker. Wanted to play leapfrog? Let's see. Now jump over me. Parker. No. I don't think he can do it. Oh! He's got the frog part down, but the leap part is rusty. He's got frog down pat. Just stepped on Parker and crushed his skull? Ouch. Parker! Just doesn't get it. He's an outlaw. Do it. Leap. 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 Gonna do it? No. He's evil. This frog's evil, dude. Oh! Alright. Who is that? ZZ? He's running. It's just Z. Alright, I'm gonna take a quick bathroom break. And then we'll end the night with the defunct land. How about that? So everybody get your late night snack, your final late night snack. Your last meal. And we'll take a quick intermish. Frogville backwards. That's right. Frog evil. Right in front of you the whole time. Stream is short. Defunct lands are like 40 minutes long. What do you mean? It's been an hour and a half. Maybe we'll watch 2. It's not short. I just want to chill. We can. What else would you guys want to play? I'm down to play something else before that, but what else would we play? What else would you guys want to do? You guys want to play some Resident Evil? Or, I'm open to suggestions. Garlic phone. Should play Webkins? I've never played that. Is it multiplayer though? I'm scared. Resident Evil would be nice. Not really. Play Evil Minecraft? Yeah, Resident Evil Minecraft. What should we play? I'm open to suggestions. I'm not trying to do a shorter stream. I'm down to do a longer stream. Gex, I don't know if we can do basement stream. I feel like doing basement stream halfway through office stream is tricky. I think if we started off doing basement, you've disappointed me yet again. I'm okay with Defunct Land. What else do I have? Especially if we get 2 in. 2 could be nice. Okay, either way, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. Might get a quick snack. Everybody get your snack. And then when I get back, there better be some suggestions in the chat. Otherwise, we're just gonna watch some YouTube. We're gonna do some Defunct Land. Because I didn't sleep great last night, so I just kind of want to be cozy mode right now. But if we get a little hype in the chat, I wouldn't mind doing some Resident Evil before that. But I'm definitely down to chill. Right? I'll be right back. How's that sound? Okay, chat? So, if you have any suggestions, leave them in the chat. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in just a minute. Get your snack, hit your bathroom breaks, and I'll see you after that, okay? Okie doke. What? What? Yo. Mother 3? I actually have streamed Mother 3 on here before. But I got to like a point where I had to, it was like that T-Rex boss where we have to, I was like under leveled, so I had to like, I was gonna grind a little off camera, but then I didn't come back. I tried playing Mother Earthbound for some reason, couldn't get into it. Do you start with Earthbound? I feel like Earthbound is a great entry point. But I don't know. I could see if you're not used to like turn-based combat, not being into it. Nintendo trolled us all. I know it's messed up. Only in Japan is so crazy. I know it's messed up. It's gotta happen eventually. They know how much demand there is for it. Yo, I've never played any of the Epic Mickey games, but I'm kind of down. I just didn't have a Wii when they came out. Are they fun? Epic. Did it come out on PS2? I guess I just didn't buy it when it came out. I don't remember. I remember I was in college, I feel like. Alright. My brother liked Epic Mickey a lot. He got a box set. Huh. Yeah, it seems cool. I liked the Mickey on Genesis was fun. I played that a lot. Okay, we're going to watch some Defunctland on YouTube and chill about. Let's see what we got. His last 3 albums are crazy. Oh, I thought we were still talking about Epic Mickey. I haven't listened to the album, the first album. But I liked all the singles from the Scrap Rose stuff too. Okay. Defunctland, huh? American Idol theme park? I don't know that was a thing. That's cool. Okay, I think we're on Muppet Babies one. Yeah, I think we only have 2 more, so maybe we could watch both of them. Let me turn off the Bomberman music. Underscores. What are we gonna watch next? The last one is sad? Oh no. A lot of Doom lately? Hell yeah. Used to listen to a lot of Doom on road trips. Yeah. Great stuff. Right. We are going to watch some Defunctland. If you missed any of the Muppets section of the streams, we're watching Defunctland documentary series on Jim Henson. Everything Jim Henson. Let's go. Let me know how the volume is.
Get back to work! It's the end of the series, boss. There's no more ads. I said work!
Yeah, I've listened to some of the Victor stuff. I know it's kind of hit or miss.
On May
Wrong one.
22nd, 1990,
It tells
nearly
me this is the
5,000
one. Oh, is this the last one? Oh. Oh no, you're right. Close one. Thank you.
Yeah, boss. You need to use a
That would have been
VPN
crazy.
when online. You could have let
That was a sad one.
find us.
Good thing I wasn't paying attention.
Really? Oh no.
Okay, I'm gonna dim the lights. We're gonna snack in silence.
In the summer of 1983, the third feature film starring the Muppets was beginning production, and Frank Oz was in the director's chair. While he had co-directed The Dark Crystal with Jim Henson just 2 years prior,
How's the
this would be
volume,
his
guys?
first time directing a film alone. Oz desperately wanted to enter the world of entertainment beyond the Muppets, and the chance to direct the film could be huge for his future career.
Cool.
Jim believed in his friend's talent and was happy to let him shoot the film. It didn't hurt that Jim was also juggling many other projects and was more than pleased with serving as a mere performer for the production. The film, entitled The Muppets Take Manhattan, had been rewritten by Oz,
Muppets in New
removing
York?
much of the trademark Muppet mayhem in favor of more subtle character moments. In the same vein, Oz would require retake after retake of each scene, demanding near perfection from the Muppet performers and human actors. Oz was making mistakes and frustrating his friends. Even Jim grew tired of Oz's directorial style, although he would retain his typical silence
Bless
even in
that.
stewing. Despite the difficulty, Jim was right to have given the film to Oz. It was a learning experience for him, and The Dark Crystal and The Muppets Take Manhattan would be just the beginning of his prosperous directing career. While the third Muppet feature seemed to lack the expected Muppet energy, it featured an unexpected hit. A hit that would become one of Henson's most profitable commodities. The showstopper in The Muppets Take Manhattan was surprisingly Muppet Babies.
Hello there, my name is Jim Henson, and I'm a puppeteer. I'm called a puppeteer because I work with puppets.
The last ep we did Dark Crystal stuff.
Okay, you're gonna love this story. Greatest story in the world.
Greatest story in the world.
Hey, thank you, and welcome again to another Muppet Show.
It's not lore related, it's just the it was created by the same creator, Jimmy Hens.
The Muppets Take Manhattan premiered on July 13th, 1984.
Labyrinth
While the
is
Muppet
kinda
movie
cool.
was a trip to Hollywood and the Great Muppet Caper was set in London, The Muppets Take Manhattan would see the Muppets taking over the Big Apple, attempting to create their own Broadway show. The film was received fairly well by critics, although many noted that the more dramatic take on the Muppets did not suit them as well as Running Gags or Dynamite did. Despite the mixed reception, the film was a financial success, grossing over $25 million on an $8 million budget. The box office gross might have been in part due to the cultural fixation on the relationship of the film's stars. The two most popular Muppet characters had developed a faux will they won't they storyline, with various tabloids and media outlets parodying themselves by speculating on the nature of the fictional characters' relationship. By 1984, the joke had developed into a genuine curiosity from fans, and when news broke that the third Muppet feature culminated in a wedding between Kermit and Miss Piggy, both the press and fans alike were beside themselves with anticipation.
A marriage does occur. Let's just say that.
Well, is that you and Kermit getting married?
You bet.
There's no marriage. We don't talk about these things.
While the world debated whether the scene in the film meant that the two Muppets were actually married, Jim's own marriage with his wife, Jane
That's so
Henson,
funny.
was falling apart. In the years that Jim had been away shooting The Muppet Show and The Dark Crystal in London, he had begun dating other women. Jane had been aware of Jim's infidelity, and the two rarely spoke of the situation. Jim's shame, along with his non-confrontational nature,
Jim.
made discussing it at length difficult. In 1983, the couple legally separated, but did not divorce. Despite the two's separation and Jim's failures as a husband, they would continue to be dedicated parents for their children and even collaborators in business. Jane Henson was brilliant, with a keen eye for performance, and Jim respected her and her opinion more than almost anyone else. Even during the most difficult times in their relationship and separation, Jim would rely on Jane for advice, and Jane would give it to him. The wedding scene from The Muppets Take Manhattan would also be impressive in that 175 puppeteers were brought in to perform the over 300 Muppets in attendance for the ceremony, including many Muppets from Sesame Street and Uncle
Attendance.
Traveling Matt from Frogville Rock. Still, with all the excitement surrounding the film's final scene, audiences left theaters buzzing about a short dream
Babies?
sequence in which the Muppet cast was reimagined as babies.
That's crazy.
Sensing the potential in the characters, Henson Associates began making deals with manufacturers of toddler products. Jim had initially been very strict about the use of his characters in merchandising, approving products individually to ensure the integrity of his work was upheld. While he still remained involved in the process, he had become much more lenient with the amount of merchandising that he approved. The Muppets had proven to be a cash cow, and Jim's expensive creative ventures needed funding. Plus, when Robert Holmes à Court took over Lord Lou Grade's production company, he acquired the rights to Jim's fantasy film, The Dark Crystal, as well as The Muppet Show, the first 2 Muppet movies, and several Muppet specials. Jim bought back the rights to his
We've
work,
all been there.
buying The Dark Crystal for $15 million a few years prior, and the Muppet products for $6.5 million in the summer of 1984.
We've all been
These
baby
purchases,
one time
while
or
risky,
another.
were smart and necessary, and they would not have been possible without the money from merchandising. Jim's production company was transitioning into independently producing bigger films, starting with The Muppets Take Manhattan and eventually moving on to Jim's next big fantasy film. This resulted in Jim being more open to putting his characters, and therefore the Muppet Babies, on various products. This began in early 1984, months before the film's release, with products such as pajamas,
Not me, I was
and
born
even
at
diapers
12.
featuring the baby characters. Still, one licensing proposition would catch Jim off guard. Marvel Productions was the studio subsidiary of Marvel Comics. The production company had
Marvel?
created a few TV shows based off of the superheroes popularized by the comics
Diagnosed
division,
genius
and the
at
studio had recently
14.
found success with an animated miniseries based off of the Hasbro toy line G.I. Joe. Marvel Productions was interested in using the
Harvard
Muppet
at
Babies
15.
characters in a new cartoon series to air on Saturday mornings. The popular
Being a baby
programming
was
block
sick,
catered to the
dude.
younger demographic, as it was the only day of the week in which most school children would be tuned in. Children would be at school Monday through
Goo Goo
Friday,
stuff,
and many would be at
Gaga
church on
stuff,
Sunday.
all the good
This resulted
stuff,
in
dude.
major networks creating a variety of animated series to air during the block, and the resulting content was unpredictable and certifiably wacky. Throughout the 70s and early 80s, cartoon adaptations of movies, TV shows, comics, and toys dominated the market. And by 1984, a Muppet Babies adaptation would fit right in among the type of shows to which viewers had grown accustomed. Unfortunately, Saturday morning came with a stigma, and Jim was hesitant to allow the Muppets to star in their own cartoon. The programs during this block could be charming, but aside from a few outliers, they had little educational value. It was nowhere near the quality of the children's programming that Jim had created on Sesame Street and Fraggle Rock. However, just by thinking about the difficulties in producing such a program, Jim had talked himself into it. It was his unwavering confidence in himself, now justified by nearly 30 years in the entertainment industry, that led him to
Let's
believe
go,
that it didn't matter
Jim.
what other Saturday morning programs were doing. Jim and his team could figure out a way to do it right.
What
He
about
set up a
Scooby-Doo?
concept meeting between Marvel Productions, CBS, and a few of his associates to discuss the potential of the series. When the meeting was over, they had figured out the show, or at least its core theme. A belief close to Jim's heart, the power of creativity and the importance of diverse creative minds would frame the Muppet Babies project. Only a creator like Jim would require a silly animated cartoon featuring baby versions of popular characters to have such a profound and deep core, but the added element is what would elevate the project to a Jim Henson production. CBS agreed to pick up the show, and Jim trusted Marvel Productions to produce it. He would retain quality control, assigning his trusted collaborators Michael Frith and Larry Merkin, 2 people integral in the creation of Fraggle Rock, to the role of creative consultants. Marvel Productions commissioned Japanese animation company, Toei Animation, to animate the show. Marvel and Toei already had a strong relationship, having created the Spider-Man,
Crazy
G.I. Joe,
Marvel
and
got
Transformers
involved.
animated series together. The first season of Muppet Babies was to consist of 13 episodes, and Marvel Productions and those assigned to the project from Henson Associates went to work. It was decided, likely due to scheduling conflicts and budgeting, that the Muppet performers would not voice their respective characters in the cartoon. Instead, voice actors would be cast in the familiar roles. Frank Welker, most known for voicing Scooby-Doo, would perform Baby Kermit and Baby Beaker. Laurie O'Brien, who
Baby
had previously
Beaker.
voiced characters for a variety of Marvel productions, would play Baby Piggy. Greg Berg, an actor who would go on to voice a variety of
go.
characters in other popular animated series, would voice Baby Fozzie and Baby Scooter. Katie Lee, an actress who would go on to voice memorable characters in shows on ABC's Disney Afternoon block, would voice Baby Rolf. Russi Taylor, who would soon take over the voice of Minnie Mouse,
Baby
would
Rolf.
voice Baby Gonzo and Robin. A new female character would be created for the show, the athletic Skeeter, Scooter's sister. She, along with Baby Bunsen and Baby Animal, would be voiced by Howie Mandel. Another new character would be introduced,
Howie?
Nanny, voiced by Barbara Billingsley from Leave It to
crazy.
Beaver. Nanny was the caretaker of the Muppet Babies, and her face was never seen, similar to the handling of the adult characters in
Unofficial
Peanuts, of which Jim was a
certified
fan.
wacky.
The format of Muppet Babies was nothing out of the ordinary. The episodes would begin with the show's theme song.
Sounds like Grease. The colors are sick.
Want to go somewhere amazing?
No, sir.
Nice, right? But we're
I
not
do
there
not.
yet.
I do not want to go there. Nobody buy a Nissan, not on my watch. Nobody buy a Nissan, not on my watch.
Show's conflict. In the show would then typically find the Muppet Babies in the nursery, introducing the show's conflict. In the first episode, titled Noisy Neighbors, the babies needed to keep Animal quiet so they wouldn't disturb the next-door neighbor. Piggy attempted to calm Animal by telling him a story, while Gonzo tried to entertain him with a made-up TV show. The simple stories created for the episodes would allow for elaborate dream and imagination sequences. One baby would act as the director of the sequence, with the other babies acting as performers. The characters took turns imagining
a kid version of Scooby-Doo? I don't know
a type
that.
of story that they gravitated toward. As explained in the show's theme, Kermit liked adventure, Piggy liked romance, Fozzie liked comedy,
This art style is
Ralph
cool
liked
though.
music, Animal and Gonzo liked action, Scooter liked computers, Skeeter liked sports, and Bunsen and Beaker liked inventing. Their stories wouldn't always follow
Baby
these
late
exact
night,
traits, and their
no.
unique personalities would also play a role in the way in which they told stories. It was just the way that Jim had envisioned. Each
Yeah,
episode would
Howie
also
is the
feature an
bald
original
guy.
song. In Noisy Neighbors, a song named Sleep Rockin' was performed. A major element of the show would be the use of live-action footage from popular films and television shows. For instance, in the show's fourth
Oh
episode,
yeah, I
Raiders
watched.
of the Lost Muppets,
I remember this.
Kermit played the role of Indiana Jones with scenes from Indiana Jones and
Oh,
the
I
Temple
totally
of Doom
forgot
being
about that.
incorporated into the animation.
Yeah, I watched the
film
kids
had released
Scooby-Doo
in
show.
May of that year, so the ability to use the footage was impressive.
Totally forgot about
While Jim had
that.
always had an ask for forgiveness,
Pup
not
named
permission mindset when it came
Scooby-Doo.
to copyright, the use of footage from Lucasfilm and the Muppet Babies
up.
would not cause
This song. The song kind of hits though. I definitely watched this. I definitely watched this. This part, a Scooby snack. Crazy. Yeah, kind of slaps. If I'm being honest. That was pretty sick. Hold on. Alright, I just had to thank you, Sarah, for sending that in. We're back.
issues, likely due to Henson's close relationship with George Lucas. A relationship that was about to grow much stronger.
George!
Even before the release of The Dark Crystal, Jim and illustrator Brian Froud were already discussing the potential of a second collaboration film. Froud believed a group of baby-stealing goblins would make for an interesting story, and he suggested the main setting be a maze of some kind. Jim liked the idea, and he had reached out to poet Dennis Lee, one half of the Canadian songwriting duo of Fraggle Rock, to write a story. As he had done to David Odell with The Dark Crystal, Jim gave Lee a set of notes, filled with specific characters, settings, plot points, and moments that Jim wanted to see in the script. Lee then took these and attempted to make a draft out of them. In late 1983, Lee turned in the draft for a film tentatively titled Labyrinth. In the time that Lee had been writing, Jim had been scouring through The Dark Crystal.
Yeah, we're
and his
gonna
less
need
than stellar
Davey
critical
Bowie
reviews,
for this
attempting
one.
to find a reason that the film had not been a smash hit with audiences. While Froud, critics, and many others agreed that it was simply the film's weak story, Jim had narrowed the issues to two different points: the lack of humor and the lack of humans.
What's up?
To solve the former, Jim had recruited Monty Python member Terry Jones to rewrite Lee's
Terry.
script, believing that the comedian's pen would result in a more entertaining and watchable product. As for live actors, incorporating a few humans would not be an issue, as the film's protagonist was to be a young girl that wishes goblins would come steal her baby brother. Jim would not stop there, choosing to make one of the film's biggest and most entertaining characters, Jareth, the Goblin King, a live actor as well. Jim wanted a musician to play Jareth, and envisioned the character as a
Yeah,
dark,
that's gonna be
villainous rock
David
star.
Bowie.
Jim had been pursuing Sting to play the character, but it was
Well, that
Jim's
would've been
children,
sick.
especially his son John, that begged him to consider another possibility: David Bowie. Jim was skeptical, but decided to meet with
Sting
Bowie
would
about
have
the
been
project.
nuts.
Jim quickly realized his children were right, and asked Bowie to play the role. He would agree to play Jareth, and he would also write original music for the film. This would be just the beginning of the powerhouse team of talent
You
that
don't
Jim
love
was
David
assembling
Bowie
for
anymore?
Labyrinth. He would also reach out to friend and
Or
collaborator
Clever
George
Bunch.
Lucas, asking him to join the project as an executive producer. The world-renowned creator of Star Wars and Indiana Jones had worked with Henson a few times in the past. Lucas, one of the biggest names in Hollywood, had not directed a film since 1977's Star Wars. He had instead been overseeing major productions as a
George
producer,
Lucas.
helping with writing, directing, and editing from the role of a consultant. This seemed to be exactly what Jim needed to elevate Labyrinth above the Dark Crystal with audiences, as Lucas's creative mind had the unique ability to bring fantastical science fiction into the mainstream.
This
Around
is your
1984,
age?
Jim was
What's
deep in
up,
pre-production for
Raggle?
Labyrinth, and auditioning child
Thank you,
actors for the
I'm
role of the film's
42
protagonist,
now.
Sarah. In early
Thank-
1985,
thanks for
Jennifer
wishing me
Connelly was
happy
chosen for the
birthday.
role, and shooting was
On
to
my
begin in April.
42nd
Jim brought in
birthday.
Fraggle Rock writer Laura Phillips and screenwriter Elaine Millen to help with the script.
Don't be
Resulting
so
in Henson,
generous.
Froud, Lee, Jones, Lucas,
Thank you,
Phillips,
guys.
and
It's my
May all having a
birthday.
hand
I'm
in the
42
story. While Jim
years
would work on the
old.
Labyrinth for most
Years
of
young.
1985, projects that he had worked on or set in motion were scheduled to release throughout the year. Follow That Bird, the first Sesame Street feature film, was to premiere in August. And Jim Henson Presents the World of Puppetry, a series of specials showcasing puppeteers from around the globe, would also debut. At the same time, episodes of Fraggle Rock, Sesame Street, and Muppet Babies were still being produced. The first 13-episode season of
Raggle
Muppet
is a
Babies
Billy
aired
and
on
Mandy
CBS from September
reference.
15th to December 8th, 1984. The show was a huge success, both financially
The
and
art style
critically.
of this is
Critics
cool.
praised the program as a welcome break from the
I know I
violence
said
and
it.
immaturity of Saturday morning programming, and the Babies were turning out to be a merchandising juggernaut. The show was renewed for a second season of 13 episodes
Isn't
to
it-
begin airing on
isn't it
September
Billy and
15th, 1985. Due to the show's success, a spin-off companion series was created titled Little Muppet Monsters. The new show was to air with Muppet Babies, creating an hour block of programming billed as Jim Henson's Muppet Babies and
Hold
Muppet
on.
Monsters.
We're gonna do a little Raggle lore. Real quick.
Now that's what I call a sandwich.
Look at this ding-dong mess. Everything is all sticky. Man, I hope you don't expect me to clean up all this filth.
This isn't filth. It's our picnic fixins.
Picnic? Oh, no, 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 no. No. You remember what happened last time, don't you?
Please pass the egg salad.
Fraggle, Fraggle!
Ah! Somebody help me! Yeah, that was pretty special. Want to see my emotional scars?
What happened in here? Did the refrigerator throw up?
Billy wants us to go on a picnic.
No way, Jose. You remember what happened last time.
Please pass the egg salad.
Fraggle, Fraggle!
Ah! Somebody help me!
Have you crazy kids been flashing back in here?
Yeah, we've been trying to talk Billy out of going on a picnic.
A picnic? Oh, honey, no, no. You remember what happened last time?
Please pass the egg salad.
Fraggle, Fraggle!
Ah! Somebody help me!
What is this, a party?
Dad, talk some sense into your son. He wants to go on a picnic.
After what happened last time? You all remember that, right?
Please pass the egg salad.
Fraggle, Fraggle!
Ah! Somebody help me!
I say we let the boy go.
Rock on!
There we go. That's that. That's the lore. That's Raggle Fraggle.
They're down in the basement, everybody knows. Little Muppet Monsters.
Lord up, we're lowered up.
Little Muppet Monsters. Little Muppet Monsters.
Little Muppet Monsters starred new characters Tug, Boo, and Molly. who had to record an impromptu TV show in the basement of the Muppet apartment complex. The three had help from various other Muppet characters, including Kermit, Fozzie, and Gonzo. The show was half live-action Muppet performances and half animated sequences, with the cartoon segments featuring the grown-up versions of the Muppet characters as opposed to their baby versions. Kermit would introduce a recurring segment, Kermit the Frog, Private Eye, and Fozzie would host a segment called Fozzie's Comedy Corner. Despite 18 episodes of the show being filmed, only 3 were animated, finished, and aired. There were multiple issues with the show. For one, Toei Animation could not keep up with the show's schedule, causing production delays as the live-action segments were completed, with no animated segments to finish the episodes. Also, while Henson, Oz, Dave Goelz, Richard Hunt, and Jerry Nelson performed their regular Muppet characters for the live-action segments, the animated sequences used voice actors. This resulted in an awkward transition, as in one scene, Jim would be performing Kermit, and immediately afterward, Welker would be providing the voice.
Fozzie Bear and I were hot on the trail of something.
Kermit, what are we hot on the trail of? I haven't decided yet, Fuzzy. Oh, okay.
The biggest reason for the show's remaining 15 episodes never being finished was Jim himself, who enacted his quality control authority and pulled the show. This is reportedly due to the less-than-ideal results in mixing live-action puppetry and animated sequences. Muppet Babies story director Scott Shaw explained that the live-action Muppet segments brought out the imperfection in Toei's quickly produced animations, making them appear cheap in comparison to the Muppets. CBS and Marvel pulled the show, choosing to air 2 episodes of Muppet Babies to fill the block instead. This proved to be even more popular than the hour block with the 2 shows, a testament to just how beloved Muppet Babies already was. The second season of Muppet Babies would air from September 14th to December 7th, 1985. On January 21st, 1986, The Muppets, a celebration of 30 years, premiered on CBS. The special was a banquet for the Muppets, hosted by Fozzie, celebrating their past 30 years of entertainment, with all of the popular Muppets making appearances, and some cameos by forgotten Muppets as well.
Hey, I just have one question, man. How come you look so much better now than you did then? Well, that's one of the advantages of being a Muppet. By the way, where is Yorick? Oh, Yorick, yes. Anyway, let's remember all the help that I've had through the years. Yorick, will you stop that?
The month after the special premiered, Jim's team was at work filming another special, The Tale of the Muppet Picnic, a cute story that Jim and his daughter Cheryl had developed together. The special starred a new Muppet named Bean Bunny, performed by Steve Whitmire, and it would premiere in March. Apart from the occasional Muppet special,
Cousin dropped off.
Jim was fully focused on Labyrinth. The team had finished production on the film in September of 1985, and post-production would run into early 1986, with Jim reviewing rough cuts with Lucas. Jim then promoted the film leading up to its June 27th release, hoping that his second non-Muppet directorial effort would be the rousing success he had wanted The Dark Crystal to be. He did not anticipate the exact opposite. Critics were not impressed by the film. Some accused Henson of killing all of the tension and conflict in order to appeal to a family audience.
I liked
while
Labyrinth.
Others, clearly fans of Henson and his work, tried to be gentle in their critiques, but the consensus seemed to be unanimous. The Labyrinth was not the hit that Henson had hoped to make.
It was ahead of his time.
Worse than The Dark Crystal. While critics complained about the film they had seen, it seemed that the public was not seeing it at all.
Quite a few years.
The film grossed under $13 million, nowhere near its $25 million budget. All money that Jim's production company had put up themselves. The film's failure was a low point for Jim. When Dark Crystal received a mixed response from critics, it was at least still financially successful. With Labyrinth, Jim had made a film that was both a critical and financial failure, and although it would eventually grow a cult following, at the time, it appeared that Jim was not cut out for Hollywood features. He had fallen in love with the process for multiple reasons. For one, Jim's fascination with world building was satisfied with the lengthy pre-production phase of the feature film cycle. Getting to truly develop a world down to its details, and then construct it for the screen, was a dream for his creative mind. Also, being a feature film director was a status symbol in the industry, and Jim seemed to want to be regarded in the same way that a creator like George Lucas was. Those were the upsides, but now, after the film's failure, he was experiencing the downsides. World building is fun, but when an audience rejects the world that a creator imagines, the work seems to have been in vain. With feature films, that is a gamble, and with Labyrinth, it was an expensive, time-consuming gamble that didn't pay off. While Jim attempted to overcome his disappointment, Muppet Babies was entering its third season
I'd like to
on
watch
CBS.
it again.
A few changes were made to the show's opening, and Dave Coulier would join the voice cast, replacing Howie Mandel for Baby Animal and Baby Bunsen, while Frank Welker would
Howie
take over
played
the role
Baby
of Baby
Animal?
Skeeter. The third season of Muppet Babies would consist of
And
16
Benson, that's
episodes,
wild.
and would air from September 13th to December 27th, 1986. On December 6th of that year, a Muppet Christmas special, The Christmas Toy, would premiere on ABC. The film, introduced by Kermit, would be produced by the Fraggle Rock team in Toronto. The special centered around a group of toys that come to life when humans leave the room, and one toy having trouble coming to grips with the fact that he will no longer be his child's favorite. This might sound familiar.
Very
Labyrinth was an
familiar.
unprecedented disappointment for Jim Henson, and although it made him wary of pursuing more feature films, it did nothing to stop the persistence of his creative mind. In a matter of months, he was on to his next idea. Although he had realized it too late, the weakness of The Dark Crystal and Labyrinth was their respective stories. But if there was one thing that most critics had loved, it was Jim's production design and the Creature Shop's handiwork. He was planning to take this talent back to the arena he knew best: television. And this time, he was going to focus on story. His daughter Lisa had suggested that he and his team should attempt to tackle traditional folk tales using the gritty realism of the Creature Shop's designs. She emphasized the role of the storyteller in bringing these old tales to life. Suddenly, Jim could see his next venture, calling producer Duncan Kenworthy and preparing the Creature Shop in London for a new television show that he would call The Storyteller. The English actor John Hurt was chosen to be the show's host, acting as a wise storyteller telling tales in front of a fire, accompanied by his dog, a puppet performed by Brian Henson. Steve Barron would direct the show's pilot, Hans My Hedgehog. The production of the pilot cost nearly $1 million, an enormous amount for a 24-minute episode of television. NBC agreed to air the pilot in January of 1987, and the same critics that had been chastising Labyrinth less than a year prior were now heaping praise upon the storyteller. NBC would pick up the series on the critical success alone, and Jim used the delegation skills he had acquired through Fraggle Rock to find the talent to make the show successful without his involvement. Due to the success of Muppet Babies and annoying programming politics developing at HBO, Fraggle Rock ended in early 1987, but a Saturday morning cartoon adaptation of the show would air on NBC later in the year. Similar to Nanny and Muppet Babies, Doc was only seen from the neck down in this series. Fraggle Rock, the animated series, only lasted for one season of 13 episodes, not reaching near the popularity of Muppet Babies. Muppet Babies was renewed for an 18-episode fourth season. 5 episodes of the season would be animated by Toei Animation, while the rest would be animated by Korean animation company ACOM. ACOM would take Toei's place in later seasons as well. Season 4 of Muppet Babies would air from September 19th, 1987 to January 16th, 1988. On November 30th, 1987, Jim Henson was inducted into the Television Academy Hall of Fame. The ceremony began with a tribute to Jim, with Kermit, voiced by Jim but puppeteered by another performer, singing a song about Henson, checking in on the Muppet productions from around the world, including the studio in London, the workshop in New York, Fraggle Rock in Toronto, and Sesame Street. The tribute featured appearances from many Muppet performers, designer Michael Frith, producer David Laser, and Jim's agent Bernie Brillstein. Less than a month later, on December 16, 1987, Jim's creations would unite again with the premiere of A Muppet Family Christmas on ABC. Written by Jerry Jewell, the charming and hilarious Christmas special would see Muppets from all of the major productions interacting, with the cast of The Muppet Show, Sesame Street, and Fraggle Rock appearing. There was even a segment with the Muppet Babies. The special ended with all of the Muppets singing a medley of Christmas songs together, including It's in Every One of Us, originally performed in John Denver and the Muppets, A Christmas Together. In the last moments of the special, Jim made a cameo appearance with Sprocket.
Yeah, I like it when they have a good time. But I tell you what, somebody's got to do something about these dishes, Sprocket.
Muppet Babies was renewed for a 13-episode 5th season, which aired from September 10th to December 3rd, 1988. An 11-episode 6th season would air from September 16th to November 25th, 1989. This season saw the addition of Baby Bean Bunny, voiced by Dave Coulier. The 6th season of Muppet Babies was immediately followed by a 15-episode 7th season, airing from December 2nd, 1989 to November 3rd, 1990. Statler and Waldorf were introduced to the animated series during this season, referred to as Uncle Statler and Uncle Waldorf, both voiced by Dave Coulier. After nearly a year-long hiatus, an 8-episode 8th season of Muppet Babies aired from September 14th to November 2nd, 1991. This put the show over the coveted 100-episode number, making the series desirable to syndicators. This, coupled with the general decline in Saturday morning programming, resulted in the 8th season of Muppet Babies being the show's last. The show's final episode to air was titled 8 Flags Over the Nursery. The episode saw the babies working together to build their own theme park. The last line before the show's credits came from Nanny, remarking, "What will they think of next?" While new episodes of Muppet Babies would not be produced, the show immediately entered syndication, extending its life into the 2000s, and it would eventually be given a new life entirely. The final episode of the original Muppet Babies series was also noteworthy in that it reused a scene from the Kermit the Frog Private Eye segment from an episode of Little Muppet Monsters. This resulted in a single line from Kermit performed by Jim Henson. This was notable, as just over a year before the episode's release, Jim Henson had died.
No. damn it.
Is this for moving in space? For locating in space? Yes. Okay. So each of these...
In the summer of 1988, 2 years before his passing, Jim began production on a pilot episode of a new show that he was calling The Jim Henson Hour. The program was to be created in the same spirit of Walt Disney's Disneyland, later renamed to Walt Disney Presents and then to Walt Disney's Wonderful World of Color. These anthology series featured Walt Disney showcasing his team's talent and technology, giving a behind-the-scenes look at his productions, as well as introducing various television programs and specials. For Jim, this was a way to experiment with new technology, test show concepts, and increase the viewership of the storyteller, which was failing in the ratings despite its critical success. Perhaps the most attractive aspect of the Walt Disney format was the opportunity for Jim to bring himself closer to the idea of Walt Disney. Jim, an outspoken fan of Disney's work, was impressed with the company's ability to immortalize its characters. Something had switched in Jim's brain. The creator that always felt that his time was running out was less focused on doing everything he wanted to before he left. He was now fascinated with the idea of keeping his creations around after he was gone. The way the Walt Disney Company was able to keep characters such as Mickey Mouse in the mainstream decades after the deaths of their creators was unparalleled. When it came to eternalizing creative work, Jim was not going to beat Disney, so he was going to do the next best thing for his legacy and the lives of his characters. If Jim couldn't beat Disney, he was going to join them.
Oof. Oh my god, that was a banger. How are they gonna do us like that, chat? That's crazy. Okay, chat, I think we're gonna let's do the next one, huh? That's crazy. Okay, quick bathroom break, and then we're gonna finish the series off, huh? All right, quick bathroom break. This is crazy night camera. But yeah, let's watch the last one. This is gonna be messed up. Everybody get your tissues, get ready to cry, it sounds like. How are they gonna do us like that? Get away from the camera. Yeah, as far away from the camera as possible. Okay, quick bathroom break, and then we're gonna finish this Jim Henson Defunct Land, okay? Cheese. You're crazy. You guys are crazy. Okay, be right back, chat. Cheese. Okie dokie. Okay, chat, we're back. Woo! How we doing? We got snacks. The final frontier of the late night stream. NASCAR popping off right now. We're watching NASCAR. We're good though. We got Worry's making us some corn dogs and we're chilling. So let's watch the final Jim Henson hour. Ouch. Pain. Let's go. Hold on, sorry. Gotta switch the cam. There we go.
Cody, get back to work.
It's the end of the series, boss. There's no more ads.
I said work.
On May 22nd, 1990, nearly 5,000 friends, family, fans, and collaborators of the late Jim Henson gathered at the Cathedral Church of St. John the Divine in New York City to celebrate his life. It was the first of 2 memorials to be held for the creator, with the second being planned for London later that summer. An organist played the Sesame Street theme and Rainbow Connection as people strolled past photos of Jim and found their way to their seats. The service began with the Dirty Dozen brass band marching down the aisle, leading the clergy and the choir, followed by the memorial speakers and performers, and finally, Jane Henson and the 5 Henson children. After a song from the choir and a prayer, Richard Hunt approached the microphone, welcoming the nearly full cathedral to the 2-hour memorial. Backstage at the Muppet Theater, now repurposed into a television studio, Fozzie shouted at his fellow Muppets, telling them to prepare for the big production number. The cast was to put on a tribute for someone, although no one was quite sure who. It wasn't until Scooter burst into the room with a postcard from the group's leader, informing them that the production number was for a man named Jim Henson, although none of the Muppets could seem to remember who that was. Through the chaos and confusion, one thing was painfully apparent. Kermit was missing.
What? This
Hello
is
there.
crazy.
My name is Jim Henson, and I'm a puppeteer. I'm called a puppeteer because I work with puppets.
Okay, you're gonna love this story. Greatest story in the world. Hey, thank you, and welcome again to another Muppet Show.
On July 25th, 1988, Jim Henson stepped onto the set of his brand new TV show, The Jim Henson Hour, to film the show's pilot. Jim had pitched a very vague program to NBC, in which he would host and a variety of things would happen. The only comparable to the type of program Jim was describing was The Wonderful World of Disney, Walt Disney's anthology series that had recently been given a new host, Disney CEO Michael Eisner. There were many things that Jim had proposed. One was lead-free TV, a segment satirizing cable television that had developed from an old pitch called Inner Tube. Each episode of the show was to have a celebrity guest star that would be trapped inside of the television, channel surfing from one program parody to another. Another thing Jim planned for the hour was technology demonstrations or behind the scenes at the Muppet Workshop and Creature Shop, a format taken directly from Walt Disney
Yes,
Presents.
it's like
The show
Gex.
could also feature new Muppet segments and skits.
Muppet Gex.
Finally, the Jim Henson
Be
Hour would
sick.
showcase episodes of The Storyteller, which NBC was threatening to cancel due to low ratings. The disjointed pitch Jim presented to NBC would have almost certainly never been greenlit without Henson and the Muppets' reputation in the industry. It seemed that the team knew this, as 2 minutes of the 12-minute pitch reel for the Jim Henson Hour was a montage of all of the things the team had done in the past. Jim attempted to organize all of the show's concepts into 4 different types of episode, with each type airing once per month. 1 week would be an episode of The Storyteller, another an episode of Lead-Free TV, another would be Jim's picture book specials, such as Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas or The Tale of the Bunny Picnic, and the 4th week would be left open for anything and everything Jim would come up with. Even with the ambitious attempts at organization, the Jim Henson Hour
The
was
Otters
random,
Christmas
and
is
NBC's
so
notes
sick.
would just make it worse. Instead of the week-by-week change in programming that Jim had envisioned, NBC was asking that Jim combine all of the concepts into a single hour, with the first half hour dedicated to lead-free TV, skits, behind-the-scenes showcases, and celebrity guest stars, and the second half dedicated to The Storyteller or other specials. It would have been simpler if NBC had chosen a single idea, but the request for all of the concepts to coexist in a single hour resulted in a puzzle. Jim recruited his trusted team to develop the show, including writers Jerry Jewell and Jocelyn Stevenson, and producer Larry Merkin. They set out to put together the puzzle NBC had given them, but as Jewell would later admit, the pieces never really fit. Less than 2 years later, Jewell approached the microphone at Jim Henson's memorial. The first speaker after Hunt's introduction, Jewell would tell his favorite Jim story. While he was writing on The Muppet Show, Jewell and Jim attempted to fix a sketch that wasn't working, all centered around a painful pun.
Because I knew that if we lost that joke, we'd lose the whole sketch and I'd have to take off my coat and go back to work. And I said, Jim, is it this central joke that bothers you? And he laughed and he said, oh no, it's a terrible joke, but it's worthy of us. And that's the way I'll always remember Jim Henson, just as a man who was balanced effortlessly and quite elegantly between the sacred and the silly.
Good and the silly, let's go.
As the Muppets prepared for their tribute number, Scooter finished reading the postcard from Kermit. Kermit asked them to turn to the television to learn more about Jim Henson. After seeing his face, the Muppets remembered where they had seen him before.
I remember this Jim Henson fella. Oh, yeah? Yeah, he was always hanging around.
Where?
Down there.
Down there? What do you mean?
Yeah, see? Whoa.
Hey, who are those guys?
They then turned back to the monitor, where a montage of Henson's works began to play. Despite the team's anxiety concerning the format and style of the show, the filming of the pilot to the Jim Henson Hour, as was typical with most of Jim's sets, was fun and warm. The team that Jim had built over the past 3 decades had grown into a family of brilliant creative minds. Even with a questionable concept and format, originality of the content was never a concern. If anything, the Jim Henson Hour would create too many new things. Even excluding the show's second half, the first 30 minutes would be given a new cast of Muppet characters, most designed by Kirk Thatcher. Jim would regularly perform Kermit, Link Hogthrob, and appear on screen at the beginning and end of the show. Kermit would be put in charge of Muppet Television, a TV station run by the Muppets. Dave Goelz would perform Gonzo and a new character, Digit, Muppet Television's robotic technical director. Steve Whitmire would perform Bean Bunny and a new 3D animated character, Waldo C. Graphic, created to show off advancements in computer technology. Kevin Clash, a relatively new addition to the main group of Muppet performers, who had recently established the popular Sesame Street Muppet Elmo, would perform the new characters, Clifford, a relaxed, sunglass-wearing Muppet, and Leon, an inappropriate lizard. Performers Jerry Nelson, Fran Brill, Gord Robertson, and others would develop side characters, and longtime performers Frank Oz and Richard Hunt would make rare appearances. The show's director, Peter Harris, who Jim had worked with on The Muppet Show, suggested that in order to loosen Jim's performance up, he be given a side character to interact with. The Thought Lion, the impressive lion puppet built for the True Bride episode of The Storyteller, was chosen. The episode began with Jim introducing the program on a virtual set, before segueing to the Muppet television skits. These were chaotic and random, cutting between TV programs with the same speed and success of a college improv showcase. The pilot's Muppet television segment concluded with the cast singing La Bamba. The episode was originally supposed to be followed by a Storyteller episode, The Soldier in Death, but due to shuffling in its schedule, it would actually showcase Miss Piggy's Hollywood, a new Muppet special starring Miss Piggy. The show was a certified mess, and it was obvious. Jim attempted to ease the minds of network executives, explaining he knew there were some issues and was planning to fix them in the following episodes. He would continue to shoot the series into the fall of 1988 with his team of puppeteers. In May of 1990, that team of puppeteers had gathered again. Jerry Nelson and Louise Gold would perform When the River Meets
7
the
hours.
Sea, the duet that Paul Williams had wrote
See ya,
over
Sarah.
a decade
Good to
prior
have
for
ya.
Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas, and that had been performed by Robin and
Thanks
John
for
Denver
popping
in the
in the
Muppets and John
gang.
Denver, A Christmas Together. The song,
luck with
which
your
in the film mourns
classes.
the passing of Emmett's father, took on new meaning as the performers sang the solemn ballad.
When the river meets the almighty sea.
After their performance, Allie Lou Curtin, representing the International Puppetry Association, UNIMA, spoke on Jim's contributions to the art, thanking him on behalf of all those that practice the craft. She was followed by British producer
know,
Duncan
that
Kenworthy,
song is-
who remembered Jim for his influence on countries throughout the world and how his work transcended borders. The Muppets continued to watch themselves in Jim Henson's productions, trying to get a better idea of who Jim was. Carol Burnett appeared on the screen, discussing the family aspect to the Muppets and their performers, before introducing another montage of Henson's works.
Damn.
On April 14th, 1989, the first Jim Henson Hour premiered on NBC. It would not be the show's pilot, but instead an episode titled Outer Space, with guest star Louis Anderson. The second half would be an episode of The Storyteller, The Heartless Giant. The Storyteller segment, as with the rest of the series, received critical acclaim. On the other hand, the Muppet television segments were panned by critics. While many referred to them as lame or dull, some flat out despised the show's first half, deeming it a gross, unfunny modernization of The Muppet Show. Worse, the ratings were atrocious, and within a few weeks, the Jim Henson Hour would be one of the least, and possibly the least watched show airing in its time slot. While certain episodes, such as a May 5th episode featuring a film titled Dog City, would receive praise from critics, the show was slowly forgotten. In May, NBC decided to pull the show, airing the show's 9th episode, entitled Garbage, on July 30th, 1989, before canceling the Jim Henson Hour. The final 3 completed episodes, including
No
a Muppets
respect.
behind-the-scenes documentary, would eventually be
Yeah,
aired
Dog
on
City
various
sounds
networks
so
and in
sick.
varying
I
forms
wanna
in the
watch
coming
that
years.
app.
The failure of the Jim Henson Hour was reminiscent of the rejected Muppet Show pilot, Sex and Violence. Both shows' humor, pacing,
Yes,
and
we gotta
characters
watch
missed the
that.
mark. The only difference is that the rejection of Sex and Violence resulted in Jim creating something far superior in the eyes of the audience, but with no one wanting to say no to the Jim Henson Hour, or Jim Henson. Its lackluster format and characters were dragged through multiple episodes. Experiencing commercial and critical failure in feature films had brought Jim back to television, and his love letter to the medium had been rejected just as Labyrinth had. Despite all of the high-tech graphics and advanced puppetry, the Jim Henson Hour was more Jim looking back on things that he had done than looking forward as he always had. The worst part in Jim's mind is that he had roped Kermit and Friends into the failure, showing for the first time since the Muppet Show's premiere nearly 15 years prior that the frog was not invincible. All of these thoughts went through the mind of the 52-year-old creator, who had appeared to age rapidly over the past 5 years. His signature dark beard turned gray, and he was experiencing a myriad of aches and pains that made performing more difficult. The stress of running his company, finding funding for his projects, dealing with management issues, and experiencing the recent failures had become too much. Jim's mind was filled with 1,000 problems, but only one solution. He picked up the phone and called Michael Eisner.
Hawaii. Mike.
Harry Belafonte, who had created one of the Muppet Show's most memorable episodes and greatest numbers, had remained close to Henson after the production, often singing Jim's praises. Now, at the memorial, Belafonte would say a few words, emphasizing the gift Jim gave to the children of the world.
I know, it's rare that it's not like a chaotic ad break.
Many mothers sit in many places holding their children, desperately understanding that they will never be educated. They will never have a chance at life as it should be. And when they get a chance to see the smile on the faces of their children as they develop the appetite to learn because they're watching Sesame Street, when they have developed the appetite to love in a loveless place because they have seen how friendly the Muppets and the creatures are to one another, when they find their own humanity and the humanity of these creations then you'll have understood the real gift of Jim Henson and his colleagues.
Belafonte then sang the song that he had performed on The Muppet Show all the way back in 1978, in honor of Jim's vision of hope and unity. As he sang, the audience waved arm rods with butterflies on the end, created by the Muppet Workshop and passed out to those in attendance. This results in a passionate and powerful number, showcasing Jim's optimistic view of the world and humanity.
So is life what you are. So is life.
In the Muppet Theater, Fozzie still didn't feel like he knew Jim well enough to do the tribute. Luckily, Clifford found a biography on Jim, and the Muppets gathered to watch a short retrospective on Jim's early creative works.
Whoa.
In the spring of 1989, Jim approached Disney CEO Michael Eisner to discuss the possibility of selling his company to Disney. Eisner, who had greenlit Jim's Muppet Show pilots when he was working at ABC in the early 70s, was thrilled at the opportunity to bring Jim's now classic characters into the Walt Disney Company. Eisner, along with Disney President Frank Wells and Walt Disney Studios President Jeffrey Katzenberg, had been hired just 5 years prior to save Disney from takeover. Eisner had been doing his best to bring the Disney brand back into the mainstream, and a hit like The Muppets would be a surefire way to do so. For Jim, not having to worry about management, finances, or even distribution, all things he couldn't escape at his own company, would allow him to spend more time doing the thing he loved most: creating. Henson and Eisner shook hands, agreeing to pursue a deal in which Jim would sell his company and the Muppets, excluding the Sesame Street Muppets, to the Walt Disney Company. With the deal, Henson would also enter a 15-year exclusive contract with Disney, and would develop not only television shows and movies, but also theme park attractions. Theme parks excited Jim as much as anything else, as he loved Disneyland and Walt Disney World, admiring the Imagineers' attention to detail and world building. Creating content for a company as big and as strong as Disney, at the time, seemed like the best case scenario. News broke that a potential Disney Muppets deal was developing in the summer of 1989. In August, Jim flew to Orlando to meet with Eisner, Wells, and Katzenberg, and to tour the Walt Disney World Resort. He stayed at the luxurious Grand Floridian that had opened just a year prior, and visited Disney MGM Studios, which had opened a few months prior. The main negotiations took place at the newly opened Portobello Yacht Club in Pleasure Island at the Disney Village Marketplace. There, they would sign an agreement that would be the start of Jim's Disney deal. A few days later, on August 28, 1989, Jim appeared on Good Morning America with Eisner to announce their deal to the world. The Muppets were going to join the Walt Disney Company, and Jim was thrilled. Frank Oz's speech at Jim Henson's New York memorial would bring another story of Jim, with Oz describing an elaborate gift that Jim had given him for Christmas.
The quality of the gift and the craftsmanship, it all speaks so much of Jim, that gift. And I think the love, I think that's what I knew. He loved me and I loved him.
After Oz walked off stage, Rainbow Connection played through the speakers as the lights dimmed, spotlight shining on the large photos of Henson that had been placed throughout the cathedral. After the film of Jim's biography burned up, John Denver appeared on the screen, introducing a montage of Sesame Street moments and more scenes of Kermit and Friends. In September of 1989, Jim visited Walt Disney Imagineering in Glendale, California to discuss a potential Muppet section of Disney MGM Studios. Jim was planning a Muppet Studios area with a new 3D film, a live show with walk-around characters, and hopefully a ride that he and his team had brainstormed, the Great Muppet Movie Ride, a parody of Disney MGM's signature attraction, the Great Movie Ride. Jim was having a blast developing the attractions. Putting his creative energy in an entirely new medium was exciting, and the Imagineers were the same type of creators that he valued at his own company. Unfortunately, negotiations were getting more complicated between Henson Associates and Disney. Disney's lawyers were playing hardball, Katzenberg was being rude, and Eisner kept making casual remarks about acquiring the Sesame Street Muppets. Joining Disney seemed like a great idea in theory. Its simplicity was part of what made it attractive to Jim. It was turning out to be anything but. Negotiations continued into the fall of 1989, with Jim moving forward with his Muppet attractions despite the deal not being complete. In the end, it was still about creating for Jim, no matter how many meetings or phone calls about corporate logistics he was dragged into. The 3D film, named Muppet Vision 3D, would feature Kermit and the gang testing out the latest in 3D technology, with a lot of gags, a few skits, and even Sam Eagle's own A Salute to All Nations, but mostly America. A glorious 3-hour finale. The attraction prominently featured recent additions Bean Bunny and Waldo C. Graphic, along with the return of Frank Oz's characters, whose appearances with the Muppets had been sporadic as he pursued his directing career. The attraction would also feature elaborate lighting effects and animatronics of Bean Bunny, Statler and Waldorf, a penguin orchestra, and the Swedish Chef. A live Sweetums would even run out in front of audiences. The attraction was classic Muppet mayhem, and Kermit and Friends would be just as entertaining as ever. The film was planned to enter production in early 1990.
What?
In December 1989, Jim would perform Kermit the Frog in Disney's Christmas Day Parade, before celebrating the holidays with his friends and family. While the season was warm, 1989 was filled with stress and disappointment. The failure of the Jim Henson Hour and the stress of the Disney deal had made for a difficult year, on top of the fact that Jim had not been able to put a fourth Muppet feature into production. Jewel wrote a script for a film entitled The Cheapest Muppet Movie Ever Made, that Jim hoped to make in 1989, but he had never gotten around to it. The negotiations with Disney were taking up more and more of his time, frustrating considering they were intended to do the opposite. Producer David Laser attempted to keep peace between Disney and Henson Associates, while Eisner attempted to make up for Katzenberg's attitude. Still, Eisner couldn't help but ask again and again about the Sesame Street characters, and Jim was growing tired of it quickly. John Stone, the director of Sesame Street, would give a short speech on the love he had for Jim, and the love that all of those that worked together in his company had for each other. After this, a piano began to play the opening chords to Being Green, the hit song that Kermit had first sang on Sesame Street 20 years prior. Then, almost out of nowhere, Big Bird walked onto the stage, wearing a Kermit green bow tie. Inside the puppet, Carol Spinney performed his character, singing Kermit's famous song, Fighting Back Tears.
It's beautiful, and I think it's what I want to be. Thank you, Kermit.
Jim's longtime agent and friend Bernie Brillstein walked up to the mic, emotional tension still in the air from Spinney's moving performance.
Jim told me never to follow the bird.
Brillstein could barely make it through his speech. The memorial, now over an hour in, was getting more difficult for the performers and speakers. After John Denver's montage, Ray Charles would also sing Being Green, with a montage of photos from Jim's life. 1990 would see the release of The Witches, a film based off of a book by Roald Dahl. Henson had produced the film in a similar capacity to the way his friend George Lucas had produced Labyrinth. The dark fantasy film would be well received by critics, but despised by Dahl, due to the film changing the original ending of his novel. Henson would attempt to calm Dahl, but the drama on The Witches was nothing compared to the Disney deal that Jim was focused on. As their lawyers continued to argue, Jim continued to create content for Disney, expecting the deal to go through soon enough, even with increasing tensions. Jim would shoot promos for Disney MGM Studios and the new stage show, Here Come the Muppets, as well as a special, The Muppets at Walt Disney World. The special saw the Muppets traveling to Kermit's Swamp in Florida, only to find that it is right next to Walt Disney World Resort. The Muppets decide to explore Walt Disney World, and hijinks ensue. Michael Frith's speech at the memorial service would be filled with love for Henson, and even a few impressions of him.
This is Michael Frith, who sort of heads up one of our creative groups and sort of does a lot of our design stuff. It usually came as a kind of question, and for close to a couple of decades, it's been hanging there waiting for an answer.
After Frith, Jerry Nelson would read a tribute to Jim, in the voice of Electric Mayhem band member Floyd Pepper.
Fearless leader, green flippered gentleness. Fill my dreams with your vision of unexplored possibilities. Shine on eternally bright in our hearts and minds. Fearless leader.
Louise Gold would return to the stage, singing Bring Him Home from Les Mis, one of Jim's favorite musicals. After this, a priest read from scriptures of multiple religions. Jim was fascinated with different beliefs and researched many different systems throughout his life. The Muppets continued to watch the monitor as Steven Spielberg appeared, speaking on Jim's contributions to filmmaking technology. In the spring of 1990, Jim was flying from New York to Los Angeles to Orlando to London as casually as he always had. It seemed, in May, that he had picked up an illness, showing symptoms of a cold. On May 4th, 1990, an under-the-weather Jim traveled to Hollywood to appear with fellow performer Kevin Clash on the Arsenio Hall show.
An old piece of mosquito caught in your throat there.
Yes. I would have said I had a frog in my throat, but I won't say that. No.
Jim was disappointed in his performance of Kermit, not being able to keep up with Hall's wit, rambling on, and barely making the audience laugh. Clifford's appearance went well, but Jim could tell that his illness, which he still believed was just a cold, had affected his appearance on the show. Kermit was Jim's most famous creation, and he had appeared on almost every variety show on the air for as long as America could remember, and this would be the last time that he would on Jim's arm. 2 days later, on May 6, 1990, the Muppets of Walt Disney World special would debut on NBC. The special, prominently featuring the classic Muppet Show gang, was as colorful and as fun as ever. The special ended with Mickey Mouse welcoming Kermit the Frog to the family, even though the Disney deal was not yet complete, and it would never be in its current form. It would take Disney another decade to finally acquire the Muppets after the events that would occur in the next 10 days. After the premiere of the Muppets at Walt Disney World, Jim Henson was still feeling sick. He had flown from Los Angeles to New York before flying to North Carolina to visit his father with his daughter Cheryl. He flew back to New York on May 13, 1990, feeling tired with a sore throat. His son John would visit that night, and Jim went to bed feeling even weaker. Jane had been informed that Jim was not feeling well and brought over a pot of soup. Jim asked her to stay, and Jane obliged. For the first time in the memorial, Jane and Jim's children spoke. Jane introduced the 5 Henson children before thanking many of the people that had made the memorial possible. Despite the frustration and the pain that had come of Jim and Jane's relationship in the latter part of his life, there was no doubt that Jane knew Jim better than almost anyone, proving it in her impromptu speech.
I don't want to pretend that I know what happens after this life, or that Jim really knew what would happen after this life, but he had great plans. And I sure hope somebody lets him know we're doing this down here, because he's probably pretty busy. On to the next. And I know sometimes, because everybody else was working, I would be used for interviews, and the press would ask me, did you ever have any idea that it would get this big? And what I didn't know is that it had gotten this big. I just didn't know.
After Jane, Cheryl and Brian read notes from Jim, some that they had received after his passing, written years before. One of the letters listed a few requests for his memorial, including that those in attendance refrain from wearing black, that Richard Hunt would host the service, that his friends might sing a few songs, and that a New Orleans jazz band would play. All requests that had been met.
Please watch out for each other and love and forgive everybody. It's a good life. Enjoy it. This all may sound silly and over the top to you guys, but what the hell, I'm gone, and who can argue with me?
After Spielberg, Harry Belafonte would appear to tell the Muppets about Jim's impact on the world, followed by Frank Oz, explaining Jim's effect on the careers of the people that worked with him, and the effect that the characters he created had on his audience. Jane stayed with Jim into the night, but Jim's condition was getting worse. His heart was beating fast, and he was coughing up blood. Jane told him he needed to go to the hospital, and early on May 15th, when the pain had become too much, he agreed. As the medical staff rushed him away, he waved to Jane, saying that he'd see her later. Through the rest of May 15th, the doctors attempted to save the life of Jim Henson, but they could not. He would pass away early on May 16th, 1990, at the age of 53.
There just never was enough time for Jim. There never would have been enough time. And I think he knew that really early.
At Honda, we've chased down a lot of dreams.
Don't buy a Honda.
Each one leading to the next.
Don't buy a
all the way to
Honda,
our
chat.
latest.
Please.
Introducing the all-new
The failures of Labyrinth and the Gym, whether it was. In the years that followed, many would speculate whether it was Jim's Christian Science upbringing that had caused his untimely death, or the failures of Labyrinth and the Jim Henson Hour, or even the stress from the Disney deal. But the truth might be the hardest answer of all. It wasn't a fear of doctors, or failed projects, or tough negotiations that had killed Jim Henson. It was bacterial pneumonia. It is more difficult to grapple with the idea that a creator that put so much meaning and purpose into his work could pass away from something so random. But just because his death lacked purpose didn't mean there wasn't plenty in his great life. And before the shock could even wear off, those that he left behind were already making plans to celebrate that great life. Perhaps he had passed along some of his ridiculous optimism to those around him, but in the days following his death, his family was already at work. Using the request that Jim had wrote in his letters, Jane suggested that they do the same thing that Jim had done so well for so long, the thing that everyone close to him knew exactly how to do. They were going to put on a show. That first show at the Cathedral Church of St. John the Divine in New York City was drawing to a close in the afternoon of May 21st, 1990. At the end of the memorial, Richard Hunt returned to the stage, introducing Jim's team of puppeteers, including Frank Oz, Jerry Nelson, Kevin Clash, Dave Goelz, and Steve Whitmire, to sing some of Jim's favorite songs.
One of Jim's favorite times in any production was the musical pre-record session. We would have a great time. Right now, we'd like to share that moment with you as some of the Muppet performers sing some of Jim's favorite songs.
The first song they sang was the chicken version of Babyface from The Muppet Show. Then, Clash, as Elmo, sang Lydia the Tattooed Lady.
Lydia, oh Lydia, say have you met Lydia?
Lydia the tattooed lady.
Nelson would sing It's in Every One of Us from the John Denver specials and A Muppet Family Christmas. Oz and Hunt, using the voices of Fozzie and Scooter respectively, would sing a rendition of Simon Smith and his Dancing Bear, as they had done on The Muppet Show.
Oh, I'd step out in style with my sincere smile and my dancing bear. Outrageous. Aha! Alarmist it is. Courageous. And charming. Yes.
Nelson, as Robin, would sing A.A. Milne's Halfway Down the Stairs, one of Jim's childhood favorites and the song that Nelson had popularized on The Muppet Show. Another one of Jim's favorite Milne numbers, Coddleston Pie, which he had performed as Rolf on The Muppet Show's first season, was performed by Oz in the voice of Fozzie.
Coddleston, Coddleston, Coddleston Pie. A fly can't a bird, but a bird can fly.
Halfway through the song, Goelz, Clash, and Whitmire lifted Oz up in his chair, helping him get through the number. Goelz would perform Gonzo's I'm Going to Go Back There Someday, the powerful number from the Muppet movie. The song was given more depth, as the lyrics seemed to call to their lost leader.
I'm going to go back there someday.
The emotional song was followed by the much more light Wemblin Fool from Fraggle Rock, performed by Nelson and Whitmire, reprising their roles of Gobo and Wembley respectively. Finally, the performers all came together to sing one of Jim's absolute favorites, You Are My Sunshine, which he had performed countless times over the years. Each song seemed to be given a stronger weight, as they all represented a different part of Jim's personality, whether it be humor, hope, or love.
Please don't take my sunshine away.
Back at the Muppet Theater, chaos returned after the Muppets finished learning of who Jim Henson was. The explosive production number tribute was barely coming together, as Fozzie attempted to do Kermit's job of keeping things running, although he wasn't nearly as good at it. It was obvious that they needed Kermit. While attempting to move a table, Fozzie found a folder of letters from Jim's fans, reading them aloud.
Did they write that song? That Sunshine song? I heard that song my whole childhood.
And he could say hi just
No,
like
okay.
you.
Isn't that sweet?
Yeah,
That's really...
I feel very sorry that your best friend Jim died. What? Died? Jim
died? But we were just starting to get to know him.
Dear Kermit,
Yeah,
I hope you feel
that's
better.
true.
I will miss Jim Henson too. I hope this letter makes you feel better. I love you. Bridget Kerwin, Peabody, Massachusetts.
We will miss you, Jim Henson.
Fozzie, realizing the number wouldn't do Jim justice, called it off. Everyone sulked away, and Fozzie didn't know what to do. It is easy to understand Fozzie's frustration. How can you pay tribute to someone as special as Jim Henson? He had taught the children of the world with Sesame Street, entertained the planet with The Muppet Show, and instilled valuable morals in the viewers of Fraggle Rock. He advanced the art of filmmaking with The Dark Crystal and Labyrinth, created incredible television shows such as Sam and Friends with no budget, and shows such as The Storyteller with a huge budget. Generations of children had grown up seeing Kermit the Frog on Sesame Street, Muppet Babies, The Muppet Show, and the Muppet movies, to the point that the world accepted the character as a celebrity. Jim trained hundreds of creators with a patient attitude, commanded film sets with a soft whisper, and kept the world's most influential people on the edge of their seat with a mere hum. Jim Henson was a brilliant, creative, hardworking, and talented person, but he was also one very important thing: lucky. He had the resources, he had the opportunities, and he had the privilege to pursue and obtain a life of creative success. He had more drive and talent than he knew what to do with, his internal ticking clock forcing him to produce as much as possible. But he also had a fair share of circumstance, and most importantly in his eyes, support. Jim was quick to acknowledge how fortunate he was to have a family of people throughout his life that encouraged him. But in the end, Jim believed that he and everyone else only needed just one person.
You know, this Jim Henson may be gone, but well, maybe he's still here, too, inside us, believing in us.
If just one person believes in you, deep enough and strong enough, believes in you.
All along the way, Jim was surrounded by support, people believing that he could succeed and encouraging him to do so, whether it was from a young age with his grandmother Dear, in college with Jane, in his career with Bernie Brillstein or Lord Lou Grade, or the countless others that recognized the spark of brilliance inside of him. And Jim passed it on, believing in Frank Oz to direct, believing in Dave Goelz to perform, and believing in practically everyone he met, because Jim believed that everyone had their own spark of brilliance inside of them. They just needed someone to believe in them.
And if, perchance, somewhere down the line, you see a child who, when you speak to him and ask him a question, he says, possibly, maybe, watch out, because there's more magic to come.
And if 3 whole people, why not 4? And if 4 whole people, why not more and more and more?
And as the puppeteers were joined by even more of their fellow performers, causing the crowd to jump to their feet, the power of Jim's belief was realized to its truest extent. Jim Henson, every performer on that stage, and all of their collaborators around the world had sent messages of joy, optimism, hope, friendship, and love into the homes of millions, if not billions, of people. They had all changed the world, just by wiggling some dolls. As the Muppets gathered to sing the same song of joy, the door to the theater opened, and in walked Kermit the Frog. It had been decided that Steve Whitmire would take over the beloved character, and after months of putting it off, he finally picked up Kermit. He then placed his fingers in the head and his thumb in the jaw, turning it to face him. What had been made by Jim over 3 decades prior, Whitmire and every puppeteer that would follow him would continue to give character. Kermit was alive, and so was Jim Henson.
Wow. Damn, that's crazy. Damn, that was so good. Oof. Feeling, how we feeling? Yeah, sad, but it's awesome though. It's sad. Yeah. That's badass. But it's cool that, you know, it's crazy that it's still a thing. And that it's, you know, still his vision is. That's pretty awesome. I love that. We watched it more than once. How long is... Let's see. Dog City. 48 minutes. Damn. Maybe that'll be another stream. I think next late night we should watch the Dog City app. It looks awesome. But yeah, this has been an epic. I just finished my 2 corn dogs. This has been a very incredible late night. We played some Saw. Not the horror movie series. We watched some Muppets docs. We laughed, we cried, all the good stuff. Feelings, all the feelings. Corn Dog Kermit late night. Yeah, let's go. I'm gonna hit the hay, but thank you guys for hanging out. Let's do another late night soon. All right, we'll have to watch some of these Henson, some of these deep cuts. Dog City looks awesome. It does appear to be on YouTube. I kind of like watching random stuff, random videos. Keeping it loose. Yeah, I'll see you guys soon. See you guys in the Discord. Alright, I'll keep you guys up to date on my Saw playing, all that good stuff on the Beagles 3 album I'm working on. I'll try to get lots of new music coming out to you guys this year for sure. Gonna be crazy. And yeah, we'll just be hanging out. We'll have fun. Yeah, I'm definitely down for some Rex. 100%. Any Rex I am open for. Alright, see you guys soon. Have a good night, alright? Night night, late night. Let's go. See you guys. Bye-bye.